here. I'm really excited to talk about this project. So Third Eye is my baby. It was originally conceived as the TV show I wanted to star in, but it never sold to Hollywood, which was really sad for me for several years. But when I got the opportunity to approach Audible and they wanted to do it as an Audible original, I was like so thrilled. And honestly, I think it turned out exactly the way I wanted, probably better and more realized for my mind than it would have ever done as a TV show, because they were just supportive of everything I wanted to do from the get-go. Yeah, there's been a couple things that inspired me. I was driving around Los Angeles one day and I saw these Cash for Gold stops, and I was like, just how much gold is there out there that would pay these guys rent? And so I just was like, well, what if there are doors back there melting it down for their purposes? And then I just started seeing like places that could be fronts for supernatural worlds, and that's, or supernatural people who live amongst us. And that was kind of one of the impetuses for it. And then the other was I wanted to talk about like a failed prodigy. I like taking things that people are familiar with and turn them on their head a little bit. And a chosen one who failed, like I haven't seen that. And how do you live with yourself when you fail everyone and life is crap because of you? I kind of want to just explore that. So those are the two things that inspired me. Absolutely. I mean, it actually surprised me because this is there's a lot of production, 6 months of post-production just for the sound design alone. We really wanted to bring an epic fantasy to life and we were able to do that with audio because there was no budgetary issues. I also was able to cast everybody I wanted because a lot of these people are my friends. And so getting them all at once to be in something at this high profile level of talent would have been really impossible. And also, like, there's no way that a network would have given me this few notes. I mean, this is like 8 or 9 hours of content. It's a full TV show of full hour-long scripts, This could be like a fantasy along the lines of things I've been in the past that I can't really talk about now because of the strike. So it is really a fully realized television show. It just happens to be in audio. And the care and production is that kind of level. I mean, I always have somebody in my mind. Like one of the parts, Will Wheaton, I did write him a part. He was my ideal, and thank goodness he could do it. I also had a couple of people who I had in my brain that I wanted to be in it, but I couldn't guarantee that like Neil Gaiman would do it. There were a couple of wonderful people who were added to the cast I didn't know, like Sybil. Is my best friend character in this, and I didn't actually have an actor in mind, but I had an archetype. And thank goodness Jonah Ray, who's the director, we worked on a bunch of stuff. He came in and was the voice director, and he knew this amazing comedian named London Hughes, and I watched 15 seconds of her stand-up on YouTube, and I was like, it's Sybil, and it was like light from the heavens. She is so perfect for this role, and she brought so much to it. So everybody, all the actors really brought something to it. But, you just hope that you get the perfect person for the role. And 100% of the cast is my dream cast. Really is. I mean, don't we always have Neil Gaiman in mind for everything? Yes. And I know Neil just as a person. He did a cameo in another one of my projects, and he's surprisingly an incredible actor. Nobody would think of him as an actor, but this is an acting role, and he has a major part in this project. He's not just a cameo. He is throughout every episode, throughout every episode throughout the season. And so I could only have hoped that he'd do it. But of course, he's Neil Gaiman. He's very busy. And the fact that he agreed to do it and said, I'm not doing this as a friend, I'm doing this because it's really good, I literally melted and cried. So, it's a huge compliment to have the caliber of actors sign on to do this, because it is a judgment of the work. Your friend's not just going to do you a favor. They're really going to want to play a character that they have fun playing, and thank goodness it turned out to be that way. Well, I've written a lot in the past, and another series that I wrote, and it was, again, very grassroots. It took a long time, and I took a big break in between because I had a lot of burnout and a lot of personal things that went along with that, and so this really was a long process. I first wrote the pilot for the TV show in 2015, and it really was my television show. It just didn't sell. But I started working with Audible on this 4 or 5 years ago, and because of COVID, it was very slow, but at the same time, I was able to take the time to write all of this myself. I did have a couple of friends come in and help me do like joke passes, but this is my baby. It's 400 pages plus of script. And it is, I wrote it, and I spent the time being able to world build, to dig into the characters, create arcs that are really, I broke it down like a television show. And I really hope that people, it is a fantasy comedy, but it's not sketch comedy. It's not jokes. It really has depth and hopefully some tears as well as a lot of laughter. If you know Libras, you'll know. We do have Libras in the show. I'm not a Libra, I'm a Cancer, but there's a lot of Libra energy in this, and I think Libras will really, find this to be a little bit of a home for them. Well, everything is very different, and I think the page count is about as much as I did in 6 seasons of my other show. So the volume is very high. I'm a much better actor now. I mean, actor and writer. I was, I had a lot of perfectionist issues, and I even wrote a self-help book called Embrace Your Weird. It was about overcoming procrastination and all these issues that really I've struggled with a lot. Also, success was very crushing for me, and I kind of channeling this into this. My character is a failed prodigy, and what does that mean? People have expectations and you don't meet them. I know I had that for myself that I didn't meet a lot in my life, and channeling that into this character, I just wanted to be able to make that real and work through it for myself, but also the audience. So every writing project is different. This one was just a marathon, and knowing that, when Audible decided to do it, and we're doing 10 episodes, and we're doing this many hours of content, really allowed me to plan ahead. Everything is cohesive. There's callbacks from every episode, and it really was a wonderful opportunity to create something that was a whole.